Hey folks, what the crap's going on? Heir of Carthage here. Blood for the blood god? Skulls for the skull throne? Anyone? Anyone? It's time. They revealed the Khorne roster, and we're gonna cover it tonight. So what we'll do is I'll be talking through the Khorne roster. I'll switch over to my main scene here in just a moment, and we'll be covering the Khorne roster reveal that came out today. Give you my thoughts on it. We'll go through the units. I didn't get to play with any of the Khorne units in terms of commanding them. I got to play against them in the survival battle as Kislev. And some people keep saying that the Khorne units had less hit points and stuff like that. I don't know what all was true or not true. I've heard more than one person say that though, so it could be. But I'll give you my thoughts on the Khorne units as best I can with what little insight I have. It should be more insight than what you all have since I've gotten to touch it, but I want you to help me too as we read through and I'm reading stuff. If you think it's some kind of hint at what it is that the unit does, then please feel free, to mention it in the chat. I'll try and keep up with chat. I did wear, you won't be able to see it good, but I do have my skulls, my Warhammer Skulls shirt on in honor of the Khorne reveal here, so I am doing my best to bring skulls to the skull throne by wearing skulls for the skull shirt. So yeah, in any case, there we go. But thank you all for being here tonight. We got a bunch of people here already, so it looks like a lot of people were excited for this one. I think a lot of people probably are excited to see all the different Chaos factions come into the game, and it should be a good thing indeed. It's my alert box is on, but it didn't play the super chat on screen for some reason. Looks like it should be visible, but I don't know if it's going to pop up. But hey, Ancient Space Baby, it says Khorne not from Brooklyn. Yawn. I'm not really sure exactly what that means, but I like it. I don't know. Is that like throwing an insult at Khorne because he can't handle Brooklyn, or Brooklyn can't handle Khorne? Thanks, Ancient Space Baby. Appreciate the 10. Thank you for the support. Really, thank you for being here tonight. I hope you enjoy it as we go through it. Are you hyped for Khorne, or are you less than hyped for Khorne? I don't know. After covering the Kislev roster, and I'll go ahead and just do a quick recap. As far as my thoughts on the Kislev roster, it's very bare bones. Yes, bad pun. It is a very bare bones roster. I think that's probably because we've gotten used to very full rosters after all the DLCs. Some people may still be upset by that. I understand. I don't think it terribly surprises me, though it doesn't terribly excite me. I think that Kislev's roster needs more mounts available to the lords and heroes. Other than that, it's probably fine for their roster. I don't think it's going to be too much of a mess. It depends on how much their units cost. They use a lot of hybrid units. And hybrid units, the Streltsy really were an excellent Khorne is a bozo. Ancient Space Baby says he's a bozo. I don't think any of the Chaos guys are going to be winning any IQ contests, but that's not really what they're up to. I think they're just always wanting to fight. But I'll agree, he probably is a bozo. Thanks, Ancient Space Baby. That's Kislev and their roster in a nutshell for me. I'm very excited for them. For instance, the Streltsy, they are a hybrid unit. I don't remember how much they cost on the reinforcement screen, but they did do pretty decent in a melee, and they were extremely good for range. And if you're going to have a whole army of hybrid stuff, they're going to have to be pretty good, because existing hybrid units typically strike that balance, in a different way. Like when I think about Shades, for instance, Shades are pretty dang good in a melee, but if you throw them into any melee early, they're pretty crappy in a melee because they have lower numbers than a lot of units. Like, I think a lot of standard infantry units will come with 120 or something like that, and then Shades will only have 80 or 90. And so even though they have pretty good stats, there's not enough of them, and they're not in, a good, they're not in a good formation to take a charge and other stuff like that. So they tend not to be crazy powerful. So I don't know, Lothern Seaguard's another good example. They can get pretty potent in campaign. They're okay in multiplayer, but I mean, if you're actually relying on your Lothern Sea Guard to hold like a front line, they're not going to do well. If you're relying on them to hold off light cavalry from the flanks, yeah, they'll probably do pretty good. So I don't know. I feel like that Kislev, if their hybrid units are pretty lackluster, then their whole faction may be lackluster, because they're going to really need a lot of those hybrid units to be pretty good. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, though. The Streltsy are definitely my favorite, though, for Kislev. They were very good in the survival battle, and I mean very good. They were mowing down the Khorne troops like it was a well-kept lawn. So, in any case, but let's talk about Khorne, because we're here for Skulls for the Skull Throne tonight. So let's talk Khorne and jump into this here. So, Tzeentch probably wins the IQ contest. I would agree with that, Crispy. Amongst the Chaos gods, he is probably definitely the one who likes the IQ stuff, but mostly just for the trickery, I'm assuming. Well, so the CA is going to cue us into what's going on. It says you can pre-order Warhammer 3 today. I mean, I'm not pre-ordering until CA gives me some kind of really cool Legendary Edition to go pre-order. That's the only pre-order I do. Like, if I'm going to pre-order and give a company money ahead of time, I'm going to go all in and give them way too much money. I'm just kidding. For these games, I will, though. I have the Legendary Editions or whatever, the limited edition stuff for the other two games, and so I want it for this one. So I won't be doing any pre-ordering until they show us what we get for it. So it starts off talking about the Legendary Lords, which is Skarbrand. And not to be confused with Ska Band from the 90s, you know? Skarbrand, okay? This guy's not some kind of 90s grunge music. So the bloodthirster Skarbrand was once one of the greatest of all Khorne's demons. No other had piled so many skulls before the Skull Throne. One dark day, Skarbrand's fierce pride grew hot, and blinded by rage, he smote the blood god a mighty blow. Incandescent with wrath, Khorne cursed Skarbrand's name and choked all personality from him, leaving only bottomless rage that caused them to attack. What personality, just out of curiosity, like CA, I mean, just a question here. You might have to get some CA please in the chat. What kind of personality does the demon really have? I don't know, maybe I'm not being very inclusive. But, I don't imagine a demon has a whole lot of personality outside of crush, kill, destroy. But Skarbrand is a ludicrous force on the battlefield, a titan of blood and rage. Even his disgraced state, his incredible commitment to Khorne, makes Skarbrand ferocious in his pursuit of his enemies, near impervious to magic. So, assuming this means he's going to have heavy magic resistance, which this would be really good for a unit like Skarbrand that's supposed to be like a centerpiece of melee for the army. You know, someone really battering down the enemy troops and kind of blasting away through lines and stuff like that. He'd need to be pretty resistant. This is good, that you can't just, you know, like Spirit Leech him to death the whole time and stuff like that. Legendary Commander of the Demonic Hordes of Khorne. So this could just be fluff. It could point to some kind of buff, maybe, that he gives to other demon units. Hard to say there. It says he's constantly on the warpath, seeking only that which is detailed in the battle cry, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. So let's look here at unique abilities. Wrathful Reaper. Skarbrand, once in the midst of battle, will not be distracted and will kill until the killing is done. Nothing will stand before his fury. Huh? Like, what does this mean? Think about it. Once he's in the midst of battle, he will not be distracted. Kill until the killing's done. Does that mean you, like, can't move him out and, like, cycle charge? Or is this indicating maybe some kind of, like, ever-increasing buff that he gets? Kind of like, say, the Black Coach, you know, like the longer it's in combat, the stats start climbing. I don't know what this one means. Could be something like Frenzy. So, yeah, I don't know. It's fairly vague, to be honest. It could be a bunch of things. I mean, when it says unique abilities and skills, typically CA is saying that, I mean, they're referencing something relevant to a skill or something. Maybe he'll go into a frenzy. That's possible. Does it mean rampage? I would hope it doesn't mean rampage. Again, I'm thinking it's probably either some kind of ever-increasing battle buff, or it means, like, he won't listen to you when you're telling him to come out of the fighting. He's going to stay in there and keep fighting, but you know, maybe it's because he's immensely powerful, and that's kind of the idea, is like you pick a spot for him, get him in there, and he just starts fighting. I don't know, and that may be like the cost of him being so powerful, is that you can't just like, you know, cycle charge people to death with him. I don't know, but it's pretty vague at the moment. What if he's unbreakable as long as he's in combat? That very well could be a thing too. Very well could be. Rage embodied. So this one says, all those who see the exiled one in battle are drawn to the ferocity of his combat. They will join him even if it means their death. So this sounds like some kind of taunt ability almost, like that we see in, say, like Troy or Three Kingdoms, where your leader could go up and basically use an ability to force everybody around him to come and fight him. So it sounds like that would be the case, and this might also explain why you can't just move him around. You know, like it might explain Wrathful Reaper maybe being something like you can't pull him away from combat, because then it'd be pretty unfair if you like took him in and he's like a magnet and, you know, like all the enemy units were just sticking to him, and then you just had a bunch of skull cannons sitting back there shooting at it or something. But that very well could be what this is. Like, this one sounds like it kind of forces things within a certain radius to attack him. And then Wrathful Reaper sounds like maybe it's some kind of way that checks that by not allowing the player to just take him around and blobbing up the entire enemy army around his feet or something. CA confirmed in their Discord Q&A that Skarbrand would have an AoE rampage ability for enemy units. Okay, that's probably what this is then. That's probably what this one is, an ability, Rage Embodied, so it's not a permanent one. So Andy's saying CA confirmed in the Q&A that he will have an AoE rampage. I imagine yeah, that's what this sounds like then. So if that's the case, then it means that this is probably on a timer and only lasts for so long and rampages the units around him into attacking him. And again, I don't know exactly what this one means yet, unless someone's heard something, but that makes a lot of sense for Rage Embodied. Thanks, Andy. Thank you. Yep. Since I can't imagine this is a passive, it would be a tad busted. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, is like, if this is a passive, like, then this would have to mean that you can't move him around once you put him in combat. But even still, that'd be crazy powerful. Anyway, that's Skarbrand. You're only going to see one Legendary Lord for these Chaos factions, I believe, is what we've been told. So anyway, here's some art for Skarbrand right here, where you can see him. Now, I think what I was fighting against in the survival battle was this Exalted bloodthirster. I think we saw some of these in the survival battle, if I remember right. So they've got some artwork here showing that and this is the Lord, like Khorne Lords, and I believe there's two kinds. Yeah, there's two kinds. We got the Exalted bloodthirster. So Exalted bloodthirsters are not only the deadliest of Khorne's demons, but the mightiest of all demon kind. Well, that's not necessarily true, because Skarbrand sounds like he's better. And destroy all in an encounter. It is the fury of war given from the unfettered primal rage. Second only to Skarbrand in their power, both on and off the battlefield. Exalted bloodthirsters are monsters, destructive, incredible forces of nature, terrifying, flying, blood-fueled deathbringers. Does Skarbrand fly? Or does he stay on the ground? I mean, like, it looks like his wings are kind of burned up. Does he fly? I know these guys do. They were flying when I was in the battle. But has that been answered? Does anybody know that? I mean, his wings kind of look burned out. And maybe they want him on the ground because that's his role. Or maybe I'm just seeing something here in the art and it doesn't really matter. Skarbrand does not fly, is what Andy's saying. I think they said he had limited flying. Okay. He has a wing flap animation. That's all confirmed by CA. A wing flap animation. I wonder what that means. Some people are saying they think he can fly. Someone said that CA said he had a wing flap animation. He can't fly. He can do a weird jump. Okay. I mean, it definitely looks like his wings are kind of burned out there, but then again, this is Warhammer, so things don't necessarily have to play into what we think looks realistic. Hey, you all give me just a second. I need to look at something real quick, and then I'll be right back, and we'll start reading into the Bloodthirster. Okay, who's ready for some Exalted bloodthirster action? Need more shreddies? Yeah, I had to go get some cornflakes. Can't fly, answered in their Q&A? Okay. People were saying that he can't fly. That would make sense. Like, if he's going to be that kind of a melee force on the battlefield, then not flying, I think, is probably a pretty fair trade-off. And I know the Exalted bloodthirster can fly, because it was in the survival battle. So, just fall with style. Most likely the animation will be like how the warp chicken works. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, Andy, whenever I was thinking it'd be like sartorial, except not so zinchy. The Exalted bloodthirster, oh yeah, we read that part. Second only to Skarbrand. Okay, about time you recognized it, CA. And their power both on and off the battlefield. Exalted bloodthirsters are monstrous, destructive, and incredible forces of nature. Terrifying, flying, blood-fueled deathbringer. So it doesn't say anything about their abilities. So I'll just give you a little bit of insight into fighting this thing in the survival battle. Like, they were very tough. Again, CA could have been tinkering with their hit points for the sake of a survival battle with their leadership. I have no idea. They were very tough, though. Like, even shooting it took a lot of shooting and a lot of melee. I remember having an elemental bear and a bunch of other big units assigned to one of these Exalted bloodthirsters, and it was still very difficult to kill it. Again, could be balancing that they just put together just for the sake of that battle. I don't really know. So, yeah, I'm not 100% certain on this one exactly how they'll play it, but I mean, they were pretty powerful. Like, they were pretty strong. Even in that battle where supposedly people say Kislev were being made to look good, I mean, they were pretty potent. So I believe they were the boss at the end. If you want to go back and look at my battle footage, in fact, I guess I could pull that up over here. Give me just a second. I'll show you all what I'm talking about. All right. So, let's get into here. And turn my quality. I think 1080p 60 is the best I could do, because CA didn't capture this in 1440. I think here towards the end, there should be some footage. To pause it. Get up there. I don't have his name handy. But we got the skull cannons, and that leaves just the demon himself and just this. Yeah, so see right here, I'm pretty sure this is our Exalted bloodthirster. It's not real great quality here because, again, this was capture footage that was at 1080p, and then now it's on YouTube, so sorry that the quality isn't any better than what it is, but I'm pretty sure this is our Exalted. We're watching Air, watch Air. Yes, it's Airception. Okay. If anybody ever wondered, it's Airception. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's your Exalted bloodthirster. Right there. And, like, I mean, you can see here, look, I mean, he's got a legion of, that's either, I think it's Winged Hussars, I don't think it's Griffin Legion. Look, a bear, the ice guards are shooting him. I have towers shooting him. I mean, like, this, he was very strong. Saltception, that's right. Airception, Carthageception. So yeah, this is, I mean, it was definitely a strong unit. Again, was it made this way just for the battle? I don't know, but I mean, this is one of the few units that we can come over here and actually look at and get an idea how it performed. But I mean, you can see there, and it had an unbreakable on it there too. And whenever the unit card was up, I could try and go back and pause it with the unit card up, but I don't think that I had the mouse up over it where I could see like the number of hit points and stuff like that. But see. Or actually, that was a Lancer unit. All right. Apparently, this particular one, yeah, it says Exalted bloodthirster. Supporting army in melee, bloodthirst. So look at this charge bonus, speed buff. So this will give us a little bit of insight into what these units are like. 90 armor. It didn't matter because he's unbreakable. So look at the leadership, and he's still fighting. That's good speed, 75. It looks like magic and fire attacks. 52 defense is pretty solid. 464 damage. That's really good. There's a bunch of abilities down here. We can't see what every one of these are, but I mean, clearly these guys are going to have some passives and buffs, and it looks like the Encourage aura is there, Fear, Terror. There's physical resistance, missile resistance, and magic resistance. So all 3 resistance here. So I mean, there's quite a few buffs and stuff. It looks like this Exalted bloodthirster is going to have. So I don't know. Hopefully this was helpful in terms of giving you all an idea what he would be like. So I mean, it was a strong unit. If they're saying Skarbrand is even stronger than this thing, Skarbrand's going to be nuts. Like, I mean, again, this thing may have been, you know, juiced up for the battle or whatever, but I mean, this guy was tough. And if Skarbrand is anything like that, I mean, he is going to be an absolute force on the battlefield. Marcus says Appius, Warner, and Killscribe must be a good night. It's always a good night when we have those, but it's a great night when all of you are here and I'm getting to stream. Any night I get to stream with you all is a good night. Well, I'm glad to be here. So let's read about the Herald of Khorne. This was not a unit that I remember seeing. I guess it could have been in the survival battle, but I don't remember seeing it. It says, most feared among all the bloodletters. So this is going to be like a demon-type lord. It says, to hear their calls, to know your skull will be collected. Now, the Streltsy might have something to say about that, but I guess I get where they're going. As occasionally and particularly favored, Herald of Khorne is granted a juggernaut, a mighty beast of groaning iron and brass, taller than a man, and possessed of crushing mast. It's better to pursue his master's goals. Those who go above and beyond the call are granted a blood throne, a mighty demon engine, armored in brass and driven into battle by iron-shod wheels, which crush and mangle all who stand in his path. Now, this sounds pretty interesting. Sounds like the blood throne may be kind of like the blood cauldron or whatever they call it for the, is it the death hags? I'm thinking it'll be kind of like that, and probably have some special, like, abilities around it that maybe buff friendlies or debuff. And then this juggernaut, I'm not exactly sure what a juggernaut is, but it sounds kind of like some kind of beast, you know, that would make it more of a monstrous cavalry unit that it's mounted on. So I'm guessing, yeah, the Cane Shrine, exactly, Killscribe. That's kind of what I had in mind, that maybe we're getting something like that. But sounds interesting, you know, it gives you a different option. Obviously, these guys are going to be SEMs that fly, and then the Herald of Khorne is going to give you the option of having either a dismounted lord, or having one mounted, you know, on a monstrous cav or on some kind of shrine. So it sounds like you'd have the option of something more mobile, something a little less difficult or less easy to snipe for the enemy, which would be on foot, or it would be kind of like, you know, a big shrine that's maybe doing a whole bunch more support work. So it sounds like that this gives you a few more options. I mean, if I'm just looking at the artwork here with this sword, this big two-handed sword, and in the survival battle, there were bloodletters that had a two-handed sword that were armor-piercing. So I would guess that this guy's going to be an armor-piercing weapon damage too, if I just had to take the guess. But they really didn't tell us much about this unit, to be honest. So Khorne heroes. We got the Cultist of Khorne. Let's see. The Cultists of Khorne that establish and propagate such sects, roaming far and wide to serve their gods, spreading corruption. So this is probably going to be like, so Khorne, if I understand it right, doesn't have any magic, and I'm guessing that this might be some type of. Let's read through this. I'm eager. Some may ride a great war horse, a sign of status. The steeds ridden by these tribes are powerful beasts, foul-tempered. Once a rider has broken such a horse, it will remain loyal, fed on a diet of human flesh and watered-down blood. These snorting, high-spirited steeds have a glance. So Chaos Steed. It is discovered. Constantly hunting out rivals. Fight with the victors. There's really not much here that helps you understand this unit. So, I mean, we could theorize a couple of things. Maybe this is just kind of like an exalted hero. Maybe this is some kind of, like, I assume all units for Khorne are pretty good at melee, but maybe this is more of like a support type unit in lieu of a wizard. You know, maybe there's some bound abilities or, you know, other things. I don't know. I'll have to read about the Blood Reaper, and let's see if that helps us shed more light on hero types. So the Blood Reaper, it says Bloodletter. So this is some form of Bloodletter because it says who have proven their devotion and legitimized their existence. Blood Reapers are some of Khorne's most deadly individual fighters. This sounds like some kind of melee hero. It says each carries a Hellblade, a jagged iron sword whose blackened blade glows with heinous enchantment. A wound from one of these weapons can slay even the hardiest hero, draining their soul and sucking dry their shriveled corpse. So this may be some kind of passive hit point thing, kind of like a Mortis engine. It says the Hellblade is formed from the Blood Reaper's own essence and can never be discarded nor torn from its grasp. Each life taken by it strengthens the Blood Reaper, and this may be referencing, again, maybe some kind of ability where they gain power while they stay in melee, or based on the number of kills or damage or something like that. So that, it says, as such, the Blood Reaper is even more terrifying at a battle's close than it is the start. So that definitely lends me to believe that either based on kills, or more likely like time in melee, maybe even based off of hit points, as its hit points start to drop, maybe it gets stronger. So this is definitely talking about how like this is going to get stronger as it fights. And we've seen a few things like that already in the game. Like I said, I think a good example of that is the Black Coach. There may be some other units that have something similar. We're not enough to crush and terrify a deadly foe. Blood Reaper, unstoppable. So they can have a Juggernaut as well, and a Blood Throne as well. It says, favored by the god, they are the locus of any fight they charge into, bringing the energy of their god and his fury together. They can inspire those around them into ever-increasing ferocity. So this does sound like it's a melee thing, but also kind of a support unit. That makes me wonder, because this almost sounds kind of infantry-focused, maybe, or mainline-focused. It makes me wonder then if the Cultist of Khorne, is this maybe more of an anti-large type thing? Serve their god. I don't know what this one is. This is just a really bad description of the... I mean, it's a description of the Cultist of Khorne, but it's really bad in telling us anything about the game. So let's go look at the infantry. I would imagine we'll see more infantry for Khorne than we did for Kislev. Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Now, these guys were in the survival battle. I mean, we can probably find some footage of them. Let's switch back over. And there's probably some footage of Bloodletters over here, too, so... might find some of that. Somewhere right around up in here. I think I get some... Oh, this is early on. Pretty sure here in a minute I'll be able to get some close-ups on some of these units. Yeah, see, here's the Streltsy. Here, I'll turn on the sound so you can hear.
Barricades in a very specific spot. You'll notice that some of their units are coming to tear down my barricades. Well, those ones are going to be particularly susceptible to Tsarina's
Those guys
magic,
look like they have
and I'm
shields.
Use it over there, Tsarina Katarin's magic. And you're going to see me absolutely wipe out these units who are trying to break through the
this
barricades
looks like
because they're idiots and they're.
This looks like Chaos Warriors of Khorne right there, of different varieties. Yeah, it said Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Ooh, let's go back and we can see the unit card again. Oh, come on, Air. See if I can get it. Pause. All right, right there. So there's some Bloodletters of Khorne right here too. So I saw the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, but you can see the Bloodletters here. Some kind of specials down here as well as physical and magic resistance, but these particular Bloodletters were a greatsword variant. You can see they have an anti-infantry and armor-piercing magic attack. They don't have a whole lot of armor, and their hit points definitely were crap right here, so it is very possible. People saying that their hit points were turned down, that's looking very possible, because this is some trashy hit points. Yeah, that's a little bit of what the Bloodletters looked like. I think we get the Chaos Warriors. Yeah, right here, Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Now this is... It says that there's different ones, so let's go back here and look. We got axe and shield, dual axes, and halberds. So here we're looking at the axe and shield. Because see, it says armored and shielded, so 100 armor, silver shield. That's pretty dang good. And let's see here. Speed is absolutely awful. Now, that's because I'm blasting a spell off on top of them that slows them down, so don't be fooled by that. And we could have the spell impacting their melee attack and other things as well, but I mean, even if the spell is impacting them, 44, 40, and 40 for weapon strength, man, that's pretty good. Like, especially when you're packing 100 armor. Again, the hit points look kind of trashy, like that. You know, maybe they're just a little over 2,000 hit points. So, I mean, they very well may have been debuffing these to make the battle easier for press and stuff. But I mean, this is look at that, immune to psychology as well because of frenzy. I think the frenzy makes them immune to psychology for a certain period of time. So I mean, this is a pretty tough unit. Like, I mean, this is a pretty tough unit. Air, does CA not like you enough to give you a downloadable demo? I mean, they're not giving anybody anything downloadable yet. I wish. Wish I could play it more. Yeah, I think they lowered the difficulty beyond belief for the sake of presentation. Well, that would make sense because the first time I played the battle was already kind of hard because I just didn't know what I was doing. Now, the second time I played it, I won it and won it well. And then the third time I played it, I won it by a country mile. And so it may have been, you know, that the tech press would have never had a chance. You know, us as players can probably figure this stuff out, but they would probably struggle as it's a pretty complicated game. But anyway, there you go. There's the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. That was the axe and shield variant. Dual axes, I would be willing to bet, obviously, you lose the shield, which means the melee defense would go down some, but I'll bet you that they get a bonus versus infantry. Maybe even armor piercing. And then with halberds, that's going to obviously, you know, drop the shield again, but you'll probably pick up a bonus versus large down here. So the health of Khorne is lessened as it was. The health of all Khorne is lessened as it was in the survival mode for later in the campaign. They said that's what it was for, not for press from them saying. Hang on, so the health of all Khorne is lessened as it was the survival battle mode for later in the campaign. They said that's what it was for, not press from there saying, okay, so they're trying to say in order to make the survival battle winnable without you getting completely bulldozed by all these units that they may have. So that's one explanation. They're saying it could have been, or they just made it easier for the press. We don't really know which one, but I get what you're saying. So thanks for throwing that in there, Ian. That's helpful. It says it was in the FAQ, so thank you. Notable characteristics. It's let's look through this. It says, like many of Khorne's chosen, they enter a frenzy. So long as they are enjoying the battle. Berserkers with dual axes are brutal, terrifying anti-infantry was what I guessed. And then Khorne has a few non-demon followers in his armies. Whether it makes them cattle or commanders is up to you. I don't know what this means. But the halberd one is obviously anti-large. Jeff says that battle was on journo mode. Very well could be. Honestly, like, this would be a difficult game for game journalists to pick up. Like, if you're just sitting around, like, you know, playing casual games and then you find yourself in a Warhammer game, that's going to be a lot to take on. It is going to be a lot to take on. Let's take a look at Bloodletters. Now, Bloodletters showed up. We just saw them a second ago right here, so I'll back up. Again, remember I was using an ice spell. You can see that going on behind these guys. You can see that spell going off right here, so their stats may be altered. So we can't take this, you know, to the bank, but here was a Bloodletter unit. Basically, as I mentioned, Bloodletters are low armor, and they had a couple of different variants. Let's go see if they mention that. Maybe they don't have a couple variants. I remember seeing them with these big swords and knowing that they were AP. Advancing pack of Bloodletters is a fearful sight for any and all mortals. Gain power as they kill, infusing their hellblades with the blood and gore screen. Okay, so that's probably what some of this stuff is. I'll bet this is the hellblade thing right here. And I remember these guys were fairly potent in melee if you let them stay in a melee with you very long. But as you can see, like back up here, I was sending a bunch of them into a kill box with my Streltsy, so I wasn't giving them a lot of time to get any kills and get stronger either. So that could be a very interesting thing that they get stronger. That's actually a really interesting feature for Khorne, considering it's going to be an all melee focused faction. I really like that. This Hellblade thing sounds really interesting in terms of what it offers. So definitely sounds interesting. It says, as with all demons, they'll disintegrate and flee to the Chaos Realms when their leadership is broken. Now, I did see this multiple times in the battle. It was kind of like undead. When they would lose their leadership, they would just crumble and be gone. It wasn't just for journalists. Imagine going into a battle with basic army against full-strength, never-ending stacks of infantry. Wouldn't be surprised if the difficulty stayed this way. Yeah, I mean, it very well could be. I think the idea of the survival battle is to give the players something unique, and it's possible that on like a higher difficulty setting that, you know, they don't take out some of those hit points and it gets extremely difficult. And that would be really fun, like just as far as a feature goes. But at the same time, like, yeah, I mean, it's very possible that they tweak the stats and stuff so that you can get all these hordes and it's possible to win, so the player still gets the experience, but, you know, it doesn't make it impossible. Legend said it was heavily tuned down. Yeah, it very well could have been. I didn't ask him a lot of questions about it. Like, some people were doing interviews. We only had a few hours to actually play the battle and capture footage, and if you wanted to do interviews, you had to give up part of that 3 hours, and I was like, man, screw interviews. Like, I just want to play the game and get a bunch of footage. So, Killscribe, thanks for joining us tonight, man. Have a good night. It says Exalted Bloodletters are chosen Bloodletters. Yeah, I guess so. So, I guess there's not more than one type. I was thinking there was. There's not. I think they have that great sword that we see here, so they're an AP magic, you know, the Hellblade thing. So that's a really cool unit. Exalted Bloodletters of Khorne. Khorne's chosen, the naked slayers, the takers of skulls, deadly warriors believed to have been blood-hungry as Khorne himself. Says, gather in regiments chanting their brutal praises in the fashion of the warriors they are believed to have once been. Each unit marches beneath a gore-soaked banner upon which the names of their victims are inscribed. Well, that's very kind of them to write down all the names. You know, it takes a lot of work when you're collecting that many skulls. Says the bigger, badder, more murderous brothers and cousins of the Bloodletters share many of the same traits, only stronger, more accurate. I wonder what more accurate means. They're not a missile unit, so maybe more attack and hardier. It says, well, a straight upgrade, more expensive and later in the tech tree. So better Bloodletters. So yeah, better Bloodletters, essentially. Higher weapon skill, maybe. So yeah, interesting. Khorne Cavalry and Chariots. Gore Beast Chariot of Khorne. I'm not sure if this Gore Beast Chariot is in the survival battle. I just don't remember. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. Pulled by a Gore Beast. We already have these for Chaos, don't we? The Gore Beast Chariots? I'm pretty sure we already have the Gore Beast Chariots in the game, don't we? Or am I, like, I'm pretty sure that's what they are. What's going on, Flaming Heron? I guess the reveals keep coming. Who's next? I don't know. I bet they'll wait a while before they do another reveal. They're probably going to do them maybe like once a month for a while. Maybe every couple months. Gore Beast Chariots are already in. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. They're like an armor-piercing, heavy variety of chariot. Let's see if these sound any different. Chariots are ridden by followers of Khorne and constantly in a frenzy from the thrill of the hunt and the kill. Now, I don't know if current Gore Beast Chariots have frenzy. I'd have to go look. Because this puts them at a disadvantage when it comes to defense. So they're basically a heavy offensive unit. The cheapest option for cavalry of the Khornate Horn is still an absolute force in the battlefield. So it may be curious to see if they're different than the current ones. But let's see. Andy's saying like White Lion Chariots for Khorne. It does kind of sound like that. It does sound very similar. They're red, so they go faster. Also true, Daniel. Also true. They definitely do go faster. These are just red-painted Gore Beast Chariots, is what Camion says. Yeah, I mean, it definitely kind of looks that way. So, Blood Crushers says the most favored of all Bloodletters are granted the honor of becoming Blood Crushers. Blood Crusher are Khorne's shock cavalry, a deadly combination of battled frenzy, Bloodletter, and an unstoppable crushing mass of a juggernaut. Now, I do remember seeing these juggernauts in battle. They were kind of like a heavier-looking beast covered in metal. Says when demonic legions go to war, at least I think I remember seeing these. Let's see, relentlessly hurl themselves at the strongest enemy. So, notable characteristic, powerful demonic shock cavalry. So we can imagine they have a high charge if they're saying shock cavalry. And then providing additional physical resistance. So a unit that will be able to withstand a little more combat. As demons, vulnerable to banishment but unable to rout. Technically, a demon riding another demon into battle, which is fun. Now, I'll let you all be the judge of that. What do you think? Is CA beyond themselves here? I mean, is it fun to have a demon riding on another demon? Is that like demon squared? You all tell me. All right, so those are Juggernaut's Air mechanical demon rhinos. Yeah, that's certainly, they kind of looked like beefier than a horse, kind of stockier. Is that what this is right here? Or is this the Skull Crushers? Still prefer a dinosaur riding another dinosaur. Sounds good to me. What else can ride them? Let's see. Exalted in the Eyes of Khorne, these murderous knights are gifted with juggernauts. So I'm assuming this is the juggernaut. Is this a juggernaut? Can anybody help me with that? They are dealers of untold destruction who grind their foes beneath their sinews and brass hooves. I mean, this has a hoof, so... blood-crazed knights bellow their battle cries. Their fearsome mounts snort. Let's see. Characteristics here. The most powerful human force in the Khornate army. Okay, people are saying, yes, this is a juggernaut. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I remember seeing this in battle. They were pretty cool looking. Definitely gave them a different look than a horse. And they were certainly well armored. I wonder if I got a mouse over one of them. I think they were in the second checkpoint after I captured it. Yeah, I think they were coming in somewhere in this vicinity. Yeah, is that it? Blood Crushers? No, these are Skull Crushers. Blood Crushers. Okay, yeah, Blood Crushers of Khorne. So here I've got my mouse over some Blood Crushers. And this was the Demon Cavalry. That's still 100 armor for a Demon unit. And then look at this, AP anti-infantry with a 55 charge bonus. And magic attacks, too. These guys are going to be wicked good at smashing into, an infantry blob. Doesn't look like they want to stay there with only 32 defense. But, and they're debuffed on speed. So remember, they've been hit by frostbite here from my tower. So that they've lost 36% of their speed. So they're still not probably crazy fast. But, they'll be pretty good. And it looks like they have the Hellblade here as well. That may be what this is. I don't know 100%. I'm guessing this is the demon thing that says that they get banished. I don't know what these two things are. But I'm guessing that's the Hellblade. So, interesting. Let's see if I catch a... the name of this other one, so we know Skull Crushers. Let's see if I catch any Skull Crusher units here. So those are Blood Crushers. I'll let this play for a minute. There's another cavalry unit coming right here. Oh, go back. I clicked on it. Let's see if I can pause it real quick here. Back far enough. Just some Streltsy action shooting at it. I get my mouse up and over some of those. I moused over one of them. Now I just gotta find where it was at. Let it play for a second. Come on, Air, get your mouse over that. Bloodletters. Lancers ready for action here. There's a unit down there. I'm hoping I'll mouse over it. It was attacking Blood Crushers. I'm looking for Skull Crushers. That's still not the same one, so these are more Blood Crushers. Blood Crushers. Okay. This may just be Blood Crushers. I haven't seen any other varieties, so maybe at the last checkpoint. Let's see what these units are if I click an attack order on them. Like I was trying to get my units, like call in reinforcements and move things around. Surely I'm about to click an attack order on those guys. Skull Crushers is what we're looking for. Oh. Yep, Skull Crushers. Here they are. All right, so we found some Skull Crushers. So 130 armor. Holy crap. Like, those dudes are stacked. 130 armor. Now, they've gotten hit by frostbite, so their speed's going to be down. Imagine trying to commentate on a round and trying to figure out which is which while rapidly talking through the round. Chat's going to turn toxic. Maybe. So let's see here. I mean, that's really good armor-piercing weapon strength. 67. That's a lot. Melee defense is a little better than the Blood Crushers or whatever they were called. 50 attack. That's a lot of attack. Like, I mean, that is a stout melee attack. Anti-infantry frenzy. I mean, yes, we can see frenzy, and then that's giving them immune to psychology. They can hide, apparently, and then they've got fear, which drops the leadership a little. Some of the units around them. So, I mean, that's a powerful cavalry unit right there. I mean, 77 charge bonus. Woo. Yeah, that is some pretty serious heavy cavalry there at 130 armor with a bronze shield on it. So, yikes. Yeah, so that's going to be pretty strong. So Skull Crusher is going to be pretty potent. So it mentioned fear. Powerful charges in the old war. They aren't kidding. 77 charge is absolutely insane. That is really good. Really good. All right, let's look at monsters and beasts. Chaos Warhounds. Not a whole lot to talk here about Warhounds. This is it says Khorne-specific Fleshhounds fulfill a similar role, but later in the tech tree. So yeah, that's the Fleshhounds. So we'll read about them here in a minute. I think they had a video up about the Fleshhounds if y'all want to go check it out. Chaos Furries. Khorne. Furries are yowling shards of malevolent energy. Now it makes me wonder if these were, it says extremely lightweight, fast-moving, lightweight flyers. I may have had some of these here at the end. Let me look for whenever I was checking my rear guard here. Let's see. At some point I had to go back and check the rear part of my army, and if I did, I know there was flyers coming in from the back. I guess I just assumed they were harpies. It's possible that they were these furries or furies or whatever. Is it furies or just furries? They're harpies. Furies would make a lot more sense, but furry sounds fun. I like the sound of Khorne's furries. Okay, yeah, 2 R's. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? Fury, 1 R. Yeah, okay. Air doesn't really command the English language, in case you all noticed. You know, it commands me. Yeah, I don't know if I have a picture of them, but it sounds like they're pretty similar to harpies. Fast-moving, lightweight flyers, Vanguard deploy, Mark of Khorne gives them some extra magic resistance. So maybe harpies with a little extra magic resistance. Furies or furries, little difference here. You are correct, Appius. When it comes to Khorne's army, I mean, it's all the same. Alright, Fleshhounds, powerful jaws, and a scent for blood, and these powerful fast units. I'm assuming these could have been in the battle too. The most places that I saw units like this were in the very back at the first checkpoint, and I didn't pay much attention back there. I basically had my Zargard, Towers, and Cassars holding it. But look at this, though. It says, Collars of Khorne give them incredible spell resistance. That's pretty cool. They're very magic resistance. So that's good. You can call them Little Cavalry because you'll never have to speak to them face to slavering teeth. Alright, I guess. More CA jokes. Makes me wonder what kind of damage though they would be dishing out. Khorne, it doesn't say anything that makes me think like armor piercing or something. We got Spawn of Khorne, so basically a heavier warhound that has good resistance. Let's see here. Spawn of Khorne. I gotta get some water here real quick. I'm getting Nurgle Plague because I haven't covered him yet. Alright, so I had to get a good drink of blood. Magic resistance is slightly different compared to the other two games. It's been retooled to spell resistance only. Interesting. Interesting. So spell resistance specifically. So thanks for telling me that, Andy. That's interesting. Fleshhounds are probably armor-piercing damage if they're like their tabletop counterparts. Also good. Interesting. Thanks for all the information tonight, Andy. Very helpful. So, curious. So, they've retooled something. Spell resistance is interesting in being different than magic resistance because it can be much more specific. And that wouldn't necessarily negate all of your magic attacks units, per se, against spell resistance. It would just mean that, like, casting something like I don't know, Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma or Fate of Buna or something won't be as effective, would be my guess. So, yeah, anyway. And here, one of my favorites as we go through here, I mean, I'm about to skip the spawn of Khorne, but I'm assuming these are like Chaos Spawn? Whimsical Lord, find himself disfigured in an instant. This pile his dubious gifts, recipient of the mindless, hideous creature known as Chaos Spawn. Yes, so Chaos Spawn. Will run completely out of control when engaged and injured. Fire and forget. Okay. So like something you put in to do a whole bunch of damage and just let it go. Most changed because Khorne would have 20% ward save otherwise. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So, Minotaurs of Khorne. I'm assuming these guys are going to be very similar. There's a dual axe and a great weapon, so this is pretty much going to be just like the Beastmen, I would assume. Like, you know, why fix it? Though there could be some other stuff here. Sin of Blood, their power increases with every slain enemy. So again, this could be the Khorne variant of Minotaurs here. Pledge to Khorne, relentless need for fresh meat, armored, armor piercing, yeah. So a Khorne flavor Minotaur unit, where it gets stronger as it keeps killing. And then this was an interesting unit. It's like Darth Maul from Star Wars Clone Wars cartoons. So Darth Maul also joined Khorne, apparently, with his spider legs and chopped off body. So we've got the Soul Grinder, which is a pretty cool looking unit, I'll be honest. But yeah, we got, I'm just calling him Darth Maul. Like that's it. It's Darth Maul. I know what you're doing here, CA. It says when a physical body is slain, he can surrender the true name to the Forge of Souls. Dark bargain sealed. His crippled essence is bound to a mighty warp metal hulk. Thus, he is reborn as a soul grinder. Says truly horrific amalgamation of metal and flesh. Dang you, big words. Can fire its extremely powerful weaponry while on the move and charging the enemy. Now that is interesting. Can fire its weapon. Yeah, some kind of gun on this arm, I think. No, that's what's sticking out right here by the sword. The gun's over here. Let's see, breakout. But yeah, so claw breakout. So it's some kind of claw. Interesting. It has ranged weapon, highly resistant to physical and magical harm, and really tremendously awful to kill. So again, Khorne's going to need units like this to be able to survive just being cheap-shotted by spells and missile damage. So it's good to see CA doing that. This is a really unique-looking unit. And I think this is a really cool ad by CA here, because this is truly something that looks pretty dang unique. I mean, yeah, there's other single entities in the game that can shoot from range and they get into melee, so not unique in that fashion, but I mean, this is pretty unique looking. Like, this is interesting. Soul Grinders have a semi-artillery piece on the tabletop, a bit like a cannon of sorts. Once again, Andy coming in with the information here. Says maybe they will in Total War Warhammer. So, I mean, this guy does kind of look like a 40k unit, to be honest. A little bit, at least. A little bit. So a bloodthirster. So we had exalted bloodthirsters. Again, I saw bloodthirsters in my battle. These guys are like the exalted bloodthirster, but, you know, like a slightly lessened variant. And then this skull cannon was also in the battle. The interesting thing about this is that it actually It says it heals every moment it's in a melee. Now this is really interesting because it's a single entity cannon, and it's kind of like a chariot. It heals when it gets in a melee, so you can try and, you know, help it out a little in melee against something weak. It says it boosts morale for nearby allies, but it was pretty good at range. It was doing quite a bit of damage to my elemental bears and my other units, so I mean, it was doing pretty darn good from range. And the interesting thing is it says that it regains ammo as it goes into combat. Yeah, it says as it grinds across the battlefield, mangle everything. Let's see, gaping maw. There to be roasted by demonic fire and ground into fragments. Only the skulls, so beloved of Khorne, are retained and fed into the mighty cannon atop the machinery. So it can get more ammo by rolling around. Or no, sorry, I was reading the wrong line here. Boost morale. Yeah, that's not it. It rolls around in combat. It can get more ammo from killing things. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. It is a skull cannon, and it gets more ammo from taking skulls. I mean, that's a nice touch. It is a nice touch. It says can fire and move to keep the enemy on the back foot. Now, this is an appropriate artillery piece for Khorne, because it's an army that isn't going to be sitting back skirmishing, and you don't want to get tied to an artillery position with a really heavy army, with something, say, like a hell cannon, for instance. A hell cannon would tie you down and have to defend it, versus this allows you to be mobile and have a little firepower on the go. So I think this is very nice. Yeah, so I think this is really nice. So I don't know, Khorne's roster, I mean, it's pretty bare bones too, kind of like Kislev, so I can't say it's a whole lot different in that regard. However, it seems very unique, and unique in the sense that we have kind of melee-heavy factions in the game already. But Khorne seems unique with the spell resistance, magic resistance, demons mixed with chaos troops, decent cavalry options, both light and heavy, some flyers, the little furries, furies. So, I mean, this is looking interesting. Only one legendary lord, of course, for now, which is Skarbrand, but Skarbrand seems pretty unique in the fact that he's going to be the biggest melee beast ever seen in a Warhammer game. So, I mean, I think this is pretty good. The Khorne roster is pretty good. It's probably same weaknesses as the Kislev roster in the sense that, again, they're not going to totally fill this roster all the way up because they're clearly going to have DLC, just like they did with Game 2. I saw comments on my last video, and I'll address this, not in the way that, like, I'm saying, oh, well, they're definitely wrong, but, you know, there's a lot of opinions out there about DLC, and the person leaving this comment was like, well, I like watching Republica play. You know, he used to be Darren Total War. And I know Darren. He used to work at CA, and he was a little upset with some of the things they did. He left the company, tried to go full-time on YouTube. He doesn't like the way they do their DLC. Some people think that the way they're doing DLC is wrong, and the way they state it, and I always see this argument is, oh, they're taking things out just so they can put it in as DLC. That argument doesn't make sense to me. Honestly, because it's like, so what should they do, for instance? Should they give us the full roster of every faction immediately when they come out and then never have a DLC again? What is the DLC at that point? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. And then even if I only ever released a entire faction with no DLC units, like I released the whole faction, I'm still going to have to hold back factions for DLC, so you can still claim that they're cutting things out of the game. So that argument just seems a little arbitrary to me. Are there times when a company cuts stuff out of a game just to feed it to you as DLC? Probably. However, like, here's the way I would think about these units. I mean, would I rather, like, get to pay a whole lot less and still get all this stuff? Well, sure, who wouldn't, right? I mean, who wouldn't? But, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. A game has to be continued. A game will lose any interest really quick if you never put out any DLC. This is Warhammer we're talking about, and Warhammer as a hobby, you're constantly buying new models and putting together more miniatures and expanding your army. And honestly, that's kind of how the DLC works in this game too. I know people don't like it because it costs a lot of money, but I honestly don't see it as some kind of, like, terrible practice. I mean, when we do get the DLCs from CA, I mean, they're really good for the most part. Like, I mean, they used to be not all that special, but I mean, they're really dang good these days. And then you also get free LC. So I don't know. I don't agree with that mentality. If people want to have the mentality, it's fine. You could be right. I don't know. I don't have evidence of it probably any more than they do. But yeah, I don't know what else you're supposed to do, right? Like, if you release everything for the game right at release, then what is a DLC at that point? It's like, do they have to, like, absolutely assure you, we just worked on this game, we never had any forethought about what the DLC would ever be, we chose not to think about it at all, no thought about DLCs, we didn't do any development, no work, we gave you the whole game, and then after the game was entirely completed, then we allowed ourselves to think about DLC. No, you have to plan these things ahead, right? They have to plan the whole marketing campaign ahead. They have to plan out how they're going to release it, because they have to plan how to make money. So again, I kind of disagree with that mindset. I mean, so people being mad saying, oh, it's a bare bones just because they're cutting things out of the game to make DLC. No, that's not true. Like, you have to have content left to add to the game later. Now, again, I'm not saying you have to like it. I just think that it's a pretty straightforward and understandable marketing campaign, and I think it actually kind of fits this because I started buying miniatures, and that's how the tabletop hobby works. Is, you know, you probably don't go out and buy $1,000 worth of miniatures in tabletop. I mean, you could, but most people probably don't, right? They go out and they buy a box of miniatures, and they paint that up, and they add it to their army, and then they go buy another box of miniatures, and then they paint it up, and then if Games Workshop comes up with some new minis for your faction, well, you go buy those and then, you know, put them in your... So I think it actually kind of fits the hobby, to be honest. But I mean, that's just me. So people, you don't have to like it. It's fine if you disagree with me. I'm not bashing you. Not bashing Republic of Play. I like Darren. I think he makes some good videos sometimes. I don't always even agree with his videos, but I like watching them because they feel fairly well thought out and stuff like that. So I like watching it because even when I don't agree with someone sometimes, I like to hear their opinion because sometimes I'm wrong. And it's good to hear someone else's opinion. And then if you don't agree with them, you know, it kind of helps you understand your own input more. So anyway, that's just me on the thoughts. But yeah, that's just me. Ick Choice has probably a resource issue. I mean, it takes shorter time and effort to plan for 30 units, takes much longer. Yeah, exactly. More units, more planning, more work, more artwork, more animations, a whole lot more stuff to get done before the game releases. Chicken Hunter says, you're right. If CA didn't use this strategy, they wouldn't be the largest def in the UK. I mean, they're a company. They're there to make money, right? They're going to make more money when we're happy as customers, but they're certainly there to make money, right? They're not there to be our best friend. They're there to make money. They are €10 DLC every 4 months. They're not overpriced. I know it might add up in the long run, but there's something you don't like, you can skip. Yeah, I kind of agree too there, Pesa. I agree. Additionally, with 3, if they're doing all 4 Chaos Gods as factions in the base game, it's a lot of total units. Correct. Now, some of the units I imagine are a little bit copy-paste between some of the Chaos factions. Like the Warriors are probably somewhat copy-paste. But, I mean, I don't know. And that is 6 factions to come to the base game, even if they are kind of bare bones, is still 2 more factions than we had in previous base games. So good thoughts. And again, I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm open to hearing their argument. I just wanted to respond to it because someone had left that, and I wanted to give my own thoughts on that. But again, feel free to choose your own mind on that. Anyway, we've gotten to discuss Khorne's roster. Overall, I think it's pretty interesting. Again, bare bones like Kislev, but kind of expected in my mind. But looks fun, seems unique. Should be a unique faction that we're going to see. Changer ways of saying 7 factions. Have they said specifically 7 factions? Or are we still just assuming that... well, they did mention that there was supposed to be a pre-order race pack. So it very well could be 7. That's probably... I mean, probably more likely than doing... like 5 and then keeping one of the 6 for a pre-order DLC. So I don't know. Marcus Christopher says, I buy most DLC and then go back to playing Empire and High Elves. So sad. We all have favorite factions, though. We all have favorite factions. I'm going to turn off the display capture here and go fire up Warhammer 2. Let's play some Throg campaign. So let's get back into our campaign. But anyway, if that's all you wanted to see was talking about the Khorne roster, thank you for being here. If you want to stick around, we're going to have some fun in the Throg campaign. I kind of got myself stuck into a bad position last night. And I kind of wanted to try and play that battle one more time to see if we could win it tonight. I didn't get a chance to play it on my own. Painting's going good, Nikki. I'm working on my Lord Relictor right now. He's got like this icon with like a skeleton in it, and he's pretty interesting to paint. He's a lot of work to paint, but it's an interesting, unique Stormcast model. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. When I get done with Lord Relictor, I've got to finish my Liberators. There's 10 of them. They're most of the way finished, but I have to do a bunch of highlights on them and stuff. Once I finish the Liberators, then I'll be able to start the Star Drake, and I was wanting to make a video series out of painting and building the Star Drake because it's such a set piece, and then Protocol delivered a lot of donations to me to buy the Star Drake, and I figured that would be good payback from me to him, is to make content out of it that he'd be able to see. And it's been a long time since he gave it to me, but I also want, like, I had a whole bunch of these to get done where I could get to it. Plus, if I get more practice building all the small units, hopefully I can make the Star Drake that much more impressive when I'm able to build it. But yeah, the painting is going good. I'm really enjoying it. Changer of Ways, thanks for joining us. Hope work goes good. Warhammer Mini as a PC hood ornament. I am thinking about sticking some of the minis in my PC. Like, right now, one of my PCs is all red because it's like my AMD gaming machine, and I wanted to color it all red for AMD, but it would look pretty cool with some like Khorne models in it, right? Because of the red background. When does this come out, Taylor? All we know is that it's coming out this year, is all that CA's told us. My guess would be Q4. Some people think it may be out a little like late Q3, but I'm thinking Q4, and specifically probably like November would be my guess for Warhammer 3. Mid to late November. But it's all speculation at the moment. Alright, so this was the army that I basically sacrificed by not doing any scouting, so let's see whether I can save it tonight. Air saving air. Alright, let's try it. November, maybe December. Yeah, November would make more sense to me, because you'd want it out well in advance of the holidays so people could plan to buy it, and you'd also want it out around Black Friday when people are usually out dumping tons of money into retail anyway. It is also a busy time for other games to release, so they could decide they don't want to release it in the middle of all the other games, and they may come in like October or September if we were crazy lucky. But at the same time, I don't really want them to hurry it. Like, I've had to wait this long for Warhammer 3, and yeah, I'm really impatient, and I want it here, and I want to play it. But you've already had to wait this long. Get it right, you know? Take your time and get it right. Don't rush it. Just do it right. Is the bot not working? Maybe that explains why the thing didn't come up on my screen earlier whenever someone did the super chat. Yeah, maybe the bot took a night off. Appius, I have no idea. It does that sometimes. I wish I knew why, but I do not. So here's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and do things a little different this time. Like, going head-to-head just kept getting us killed. We clearly don't have the capability to go toe-to-toe. So, what I'm thinking is we vanguard some units up here a little closer, some fast units. And try and lure some cavalry and other things away from the main engagement, and then like whip up on them pretty hard and try and keep our infantry far back and see if we can pick off some other units and not get outflanked too. Now, fighting next to the edge of the map comes with its own downsides because we could very well end up just routing right off the battlefield, but it also keeps us from being outflanked. Let's go see if we can lure off like a cavalry unit or something. Basically, I want to try and lure some of their more mobile units into my loving arms. This flying crossbow unit's gonna be annoying. They had some cavalry last time. Okay, yeah, here it is. Let's see if we can get the attention of those Dread Knights. This wolf is not particularly fast, so I may go ahead and start pulling him back this way. Yeah, see, we've got the attention of some of their units here. Now, you stupid crossbow losers, just leave me alone. Bring these units up here and see if we can... Alright, let's try this. Alright, so Air's gonna have to really pour on the cheese here. Let's lure this cavalry back here, see if we can separate it from the infantry a bit. I don't think we'll catch these units. Does this have a slowing effect on it? Probably shouldn't waste it on them, but if it does, I might be able to catch them. It did have a slowing effect. My dragon is moving slow right now too, and the slowing effect is about to end. Oh, catch him, catch him! Catch him! Oh no! Crap, I wasn't paying attention. Wow, I already blew it. Rest in pepperonis. Alright. Let's try this again. Let's try it again. I'm not going to be able to afford those kind of mistakes, so let's try it again. Alright, Air, don't get distracted on the stupid crossbow cavalry. Just deploy my javelins forward with that so that I can get the crossbow cavalry off my case and forget chasing it. Plus, those breath attacks are probably much more useful against other units. So let's not get caught up in that again. That was a mistake. Let's try this again. Hey, I get it. Hurry up and load. Alright, let's see. Let's load our autosave again. Alright, here we go. Let's try this again. If we can lure those Dread Knights in, have them throw away their charge on my werekin, and then follow up with like a spell to take some of their armor, and then hit them hard with the Skin Wolves and the Beast of Tashnar, we should be able to chew through some of the knights, and that will help us considerably. 4 different armies. Are you insane? No, I'm not insane. Like, I feel like this has got to be winnable. I'm gonna quick save it right here as well, so it'll be easier for us to redo this. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Dark Elves is a hard counter to Norska. They are in a lot of ways. Chicken Hunter. They are a hard counter to Norska in many ways. They have good armor-piercing missiles with a lot of different ranged options. I mean, technically the Dark Elves just straight up have better infantry. But, I mean, light infantry, I would say, goes to Norska. I would say heavy infantry goes to the Dark Elves. But it depends on what your consideration of heavy and light is, really. Alright, let's try this again. So, get my trolls back here. Wonder if I should keep the trolls up here too and like just really have a throwdown. Or if I should not overdo it and leave myself... Yeah, because that'll open me up to all the bombardments from the Black Arc. We'll use the Beast to draw units in, and then we'll keep the Javelins up here with us just to have a way to get those crossbow cavalry off me. Up here and get the Dread Knights to come for a party. I'm gonna choose to fight somewhere right around here, like around those rocks. And like I said, this will keep those crossbow cavalry off me. Watch the crossbow cavalry go for my infantry this time. Go back here. Alright. Come on, cavalry, let's go. Come get you some. Come get the beasties of Tashnar. Don't you do it, you stinking crossbows. Get over here. Take your medicine. Alright, so we're gonna lure these guys in. Then we want to be ready with this spell right here. Plague of Rust. They charged me? What the heck? Okay, I did not expect that behavior. Did not expect that behavior. But it was definitely not a good move for them. Oh, crap, 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 crap. Alright, we spoiled their charge. Hit him with some wolves. Get in here, Wolfric. There we go. We stripped off all their armor. Alright, look out, look out. Gonna get bombarded. Well, at least we got them to use up a bunch of their bombardments, and we got a pretty clean kill there. Let's go ahead and split up, and I'll run them down with the beast. Let's back up here. Alright, well that was a pretty clean kill. Ooh, they're gonna come back from routing right before I catch them. I've got a feeling. Oh, catch him, catch him, catch him. Alright, there's some more Dread Knights. Doomfire Warlocks. Come on, catch him. Got these guys down. They're going to end up coming back from routing because I didn't get after them hard enough. We've got a Master and some Cavalry and stuff that we can get a chance at here, though. Yeah, this unit's almost certainly going to come back for seconds, but that's okay. We've got another group of takers coming. And see now how the AI is advancing in kind of a more discombobulated fashion. This is good for us. Yeah, see, they came back as soon as I stopped chasing them. But we got another group inbound. Get our Werekin up here. Again, Timmy the Wolfman is going to help us with the charge. Those Raven Heralds are staying off of us for now. Oh my gosh, leave me alone. We gotta get in here and disrupt the charge. Bring Wolfric in. I'm gonna slow it down for just a second, and I'm thinking Transmutation of Lead. Like, kind of debuff all these units. In here and get the Doomfire Warlocks. We definitely don't want to get hit by a charge off these Cold One Dread Knights. I'm gonna use up quite a bit of magic here, but it's kind of necessary. Got a second group of Cold One Dread Knights coming in, so we may get swamped over here. We'll see. Let's pull this unit over here. But if we can get rid of all this heavy cavalry at a decent exchange rate, it would certainly be helpful. Get bombarded here. That sucks. Look at him just unloading the Black Arc. It might be hurting them as much as it is me here, though. I mean, that certainly didn't help them. And even with all the armor stripped off, it's taken my Skin Wolves a minute to tear through. And there's a whole nother unit of Red Knights coming in. East of Tashnar just got countercharged over here, so that's not great. A decent bombardment right here. I can't tell, though. We're going to need to fall back here in a moment. We don't want to get overcommitted to this, but it's going to be a mess to fall back because they've got some pretty healthy units. And that Master is still in pretty good shape. Now, that was a waste of magic. It's not going to end up doing much of anything. We got some work done, but that second unit of Knights really did some solid damage to us. We're going to need to retreat now. Go ahead and fall back. We're about to get overwhelmed over here. I'm hoping that maybe my Javelin Hunters here can maybe be some bait to help get my Werekin out of here. My Werekin's in trouble. We need him out. Get up, Frostworm. Might be able to single out this Druchii Master real quick. This is bad. I've got bogged down over here. Oh, a good way to get him out of this combat, because I'm guessing those Dread Knights are faster than me too. Alright, let's get out of here. We're about to get shot up real bad. Get. May be able to use a Searing Doom to buy some time. Oh gosh, here comes freaking Khorne Roster. Get out. I think we stuck around too long here. This isn't going to work. I think we've taken too much damage here. I could be wrong, but I think we did. Alright, get out of here. Get. Run. Lure them back. We can get these units back way ahead of their infantry. That would be helpful. Let's run. It's not good because my Werekin's kind of stuck back here alone. This is going to end up being a big waste. I mean, maybe I can pull some of their units this way and make them worth it by just like keeping some of their units away from the battle, but at the same time not having him to fight is going to be a big loss. But, I mean, at least I have a somewhat, you know, defensible position back here from which to kind of hold my own. Let's see. I definitely don't want to fight anywhere near all those executioners. They're going to shred me. I want to try and put some distance between my Skin Wolf and executioners. Alright, come on. Just come on back. Come on home. Bring them back to base. Try and single them out where they don't get all the fire support from their shades and stuff. Yeah, we're kind of screwed. We're stuck in this. In fact, it's going to be very difficult to rout a gold chevron unit of gold ones. They're going to stick around to the bitter end, basically. Let's hit play here. I mean, we killed some expensive units, but we don't have a lot of units to lose, you know what I mean? Like, we don't have a lot to sacrifice here. Alright, let's get all over Khorne Roster now. Oh, hurry. Stay back, stay back. She's gonna bombard. Stay back. Dadgummit, that bombardment hurt a lot.
Now is our time. For the blood god.
Actually, call that off. Let's see if we can bog this guy down with berserkers, fill in this gap. Alright, she's berserking. Actually did pretty good against some of these units here. Their artillery might kill more of their own units than mine, so that could end up being okay for me. I don't want to blob too hard here. But at the same time, like, I mean, my Skin Wolves are getting owned. Really frustrating. Got another Skin Wolf unit, but I'm going to kind of hold on to it. Getting debuffed by Soul Blight here. Guess I could give them the same favor and debuff them. Dadgummit. My Skin Wolf routed, and they're going to just chase him off the edge of the map, too. Because they've got a fast unit here to chase. That sucks. I mean, he got some kills and served some value to us, but he would have been very valuable back here helping against, say, like Khorne Roster, for instance. We gotta not get lured away from this fight. Wulfric is getting absolutely blasted by Khorne Roster. I mean, she's pretty strong, but I don't understand how he's getting beat up that bad. Yeah, we're gonna get escorted off the battlefield, so that blows. That blows. But we got Khorne Roster. We made her very dead, which is the preferred version of Khorne Roster, for me at least. Their Marauder champions to intercept that Druchii Master. I don't want him to come get a bunch of cheap shots on my Frostworm. So let's get the Frostworm back up in the air. Keep Wulfric safe, because he's got some magic abilities that'll be really helpful for us. We're gonna have a lot of problems with all these crossbows. That is gonna be a major issue for us. I'm gonna try and chase these Dark Riders back for a second. These bombardments are gonna be absolutely brutal. Try and dodge a bit of it. I've got limited magic, so we don't want to waste it.
Yes, Lord.
Crossbows are now in range, so this is bad news. They're gonna just be, yeah, they're going straight for my unshielded infantry, so they're going straight for the money. I don't think this is winnable. Like, I'm just, yeah. There's just so many Dark Elves, and I don't see how we have, oh crap. I forgot about my quick order here. Yeah, with smart moves like that, it's definitely unwinnable. I'm not making it any more winnable with my incredibly intelligent decision making here. Dadgummit, they shattered it too. That was stupid. What was I thinking? I wasn't, apparently. Gosh darn it. I'm frustrated at myself. That was stupid. Absolutely ignorant.
We want their eyes! Give us carnage! Here's the orders! Now! Charge!
Alright.
Faster! For chaos! I will!
Alright, let's slow down for a second. Got some skin wolves. I could try and maneuver around this very tight flank here. Look at this. We are getting shredded by crossbow fire. Yeah, this is just not winnable. There's too many enemies here, and they are far too strong for us to be able to overcome. I mean, look at the crossbow fire coming down on us right now. It is utterly obscene. I mean, I will do everything I can here to cause some extreme damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Might be able to get through here with the chariot and go for some of those crossbows, but pretty sure it's going to be way too little. See, we're still getting bombarded by the Black Arc, too. And see, I mean, I'm dumping attacks all over these guys the best I can. I don't have enough magic left, either, to cause any real substantive damage. So, I mean, yeah, this is not winnable. I screwed myself over with this decision. Do you all want me to post this on my, should I post this on my Discord as, like, a challenge and see if someone can win it? If they do, send me the replay. And then if we can't win it, we can have someone send it to Legend. What do you think? Yeah, my units are probably really tired because of the stance I had them in. Just a really stupid mistake. All right, I'll put the replay up on my Discord, and I'm pretty sure that if I put the replay up, it'll allow you all to play the battle, not just watch it. If I remember right, doesn't it do that? And if anybody can beat it, you know, how about this? Like, I'll put up a cash prize. I won't do anything massive, but I'll give $25 to the first person who could submit me one where they've beaten it without cheating or modifying the game. And then if no one can beat it, we'll send it to Legend and just see what he can do with it, if anything. So maybe that'll be fun. I don't know. Yeah, I got myself into it on this one, and I don't know that I have a way out of that. Like, I was thinking maybe if I cheese some of those units early on, it would work, but again, maybe it's winnable, and I just don't see the right course of action yet. But we are getting absolutely blown out by Marathi and Khorne Roster here. Especially with that black arc in the background, just absolutely taking a dump. What mods am I using? I am using mods. I did forget to save the replay, but it'll be in my auto. It'll be in my auto save. Can you play the replay, or should I put the campaign save? I'll do both. I can't remember. Like, I think you can play the replay, but if it doesn't work the same, I'll do the campaign save too, just in case. Here, I'll go into the replay and I'll say rename the autosave. So rename, and this will be Heir's Folly is what I'll call it. Even though I don't know how to spell folly, but I think it's Folly. Find out. Yep. Okay, so Heir's Folly. That's a good name for it. And then I'll grab the campaign save here. And let's reload. So I had it on the quick save. And then I should be able to make an official save right here. So let's load this quick save, and then I'll make a named save here. So yeah, anyway, this will be a fun one. Did I uncheck control large? I don't get the option to uncheck control large armies, or else that definitely would have been the first option I would go for. It didn't ask me in the pre-battle screen. Now, is there a campaign setting where you can just turn it off by default? If so, then that battle probably does become winnable. That's an excellent point. Hide unit in the trees, run around with magic. Yeah, Marcus has a good point. What are my thoughts on the roster reveals, Keelan? I talked about them a bunch earlier. You should be able to slide back and go check it out and see the other one. But, I mean, they're bare bones, kind of as expected. Kislev didn't really blow me away. I felt like they should have had better mounts for their lords and heroes. Khorne looks pretty decent. But, yeah, that was kind of my just general thoughts on the roster reveals. So, yeah. Now, this definitely would not be the end of my campaign. It would just mean I have to rebuild Wulfric's army. And I don't really feel like doing that, but I'm going to put the campaign save here. And if y'all want to join the Discord, I don't know if I have any moderators here right now, but they can put the link in the chat. If not, go to one of my Warhammer Online videos, and I have a link to join my Discord. It's free. I'm going to post this. I'll probably ask the mods, like if I... Actually, I'll just probably put it in my HeirofCarthage content thread on the Discord, and you all can download it and try it for yourself. That's probably how I'll do it. Anyway, I'm going to load up a save where I haven't screwed myself over and play from there. See, the autosave was on turn 118, and that's where the quick save was. And then I have this Wintertooth 116. I wonder if this is before I got him screwed over. We'll go back and check. All right. Night, Senshi. Get you some sleep. Red Sin says, I think it's winnable. You just sound defeated from the start. Never give up. Never surrender. Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to, over give up. I'm not sure. It may be winnable. It's going to take some kind of cheese of some sort, and it makes me wonder... Game settings. Not going to be there. Battle realism. Yeah, see, the battle difficulty is not even on high, which means that would be extremely difficult. One of the other ones... I don't see a campaign setting or something for battles for not having large armies, and it didn't ask me about large armies. Was I missing it maybe somewhere? Obviously, if it asked me about large armies, that would have been the first thing I would have done is uncheck that, because then what happens is the Dark Elves can only have 20 units at a time, despite having 4 stacks, and then yeah, that makes it a lot more winnable. But right now, they're running at us with just overwhelming numbers, and I don't know how to do anything about it at this exact moment. Like I said, there may be a way to do it, and I'll post it, and, you know, if someone can do it and they send me the replay and they haven't cheated, then I'd be happy to hand them $25, just for fun, so that, you know, I can learn something from it. They had a good time, I had a good time. I definitely don't think I'm infallible, right? There's people who see things that I don't, because even though I've played the game a lot, like, I still don't know it all, not by a long shot. Typically speaking, no one does.
Winter tooth! In my gullet!
Get in my gullet. Oh yeah, we're sacking that.
Shatter skulls!
Sack of skulls. Skulls for the skull throne.
Is feeding time!
Alright, I already played a little bit of this last night, but... no, it's okay. I'll try and keep Wolfric from getting himself killed like that against the Dark Elves. Repair some defenses, and I'm not super worried about public order right now. I'd rather have growth and some cash. I mean, public order wouldn't be a bad thing, but with Throg around, I don't think any rebellions are really gonna take off, you know, like I don't really see that happening. So Folks of Death is going to help my trolls. Champions of the North we already got. Wolves, that's not going to do me a lot of good. Guess we can just keep buffing Throg. Yep, yeah. So Throg would always, any character always benefits a lot from melee defense. I'm gonna throw the upgrade there first. Let's see. You'd have to cheese it with your wizard from the very beginning. That's a tough one. I wouldn't worry. Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to cheese it hard. There's no way you're gonna sit there in some kind of formed battle line and win that against the AI there. At least I don't think so. But you know, the game does have a lot of ways that it can be exploited. And I think that that's how you would have to pull that one off. And I may not know the right exploit. How I was trying to lure their cavalry off and kill it and try and get them filing towards like a couple units, that's sometimes work. You can get the AI to kind of funnel in piecemeal, but there was still way too much of a Dark Elf army altogether, and I still wasn't having very good success killing those units in a very efficient manner. Plus, whenever I was blobbing up trying to kill their units in a hurry and be efficient, it was giving their Black Arc a good thing to bombard. So there was definitely multiple things working against us there that were going to create a pretty nice challenge. I like the salt. I come for the salt. Well, thanks, Isaac. Thanks for being here tonight. All right. Let's see here. Where do I got Wolfric at? Right here. Wolfric is... I mean, his army's not bad. His army's really not bad. Got some really solid infantry. It's probably really hurt by the fact that we were in a forced march, which means they come into battle very tired. So that probably didn't help. What we could do is try to hide here on this island. I'm trying to think. We sailed up here, and this is where we found Marathi. This is the point at which most of them are going to enter. They could sail up here to Khorne. Another thing we could do is try and step across here. I mean, this character is blocking our path, unfortunately, which is a very cheeky block. I didn't know that this was a thing. I could take a different route to a different settlement, like maybe try and sail somewhere and look for something a little more doable. I'm not going to go into any forced marches at this point because I know it's dangerous. Let's sail around. Wolfric is a wanderer, so let's let him wander. And I had been training another army back here, at least the basis of it, and Throg is going to help me get enough loot to fund it. Yeah, Throg will help me get the loot to fund it. Can't wait to 20 stack skull cannons led by a herald. That would be a pretty funny bike gang poison. Yeah, that'd be pretty good, Bruce. I like your idea there. Oh my gosh, I might have to do that when the game comes out. I like that. I like that quite a lot. 19 skull cannons and a herald. Since CA saying they want the new armies different, the warriors are taken by Khorne, I'd want to see what Tzeentch chosen look like. Yeah, exactly. That'd be really neat to really have a very unique flavor of warriors with each faction. I agree. That'd be really... I mean, like, Nurgle, I can imagine they have, like, plagues, which would mean, like, maybe poison damage, slowing effects, hit point rot, you know, that kind of... Like, I could see Nurgle slowing effects. I could see Nurgle having some really cool stuff. Maybe Tzeentch has more Vanguard. You know, like more deception, that kind of stuff. That'd be pretty cool. And then, trying to think, Slaanesh. They're all about excess. I wonder how you take that. Damage heavy, maybe? Like, kind of a glass cannon, like real damage. I don't know. Like, what ideas would you all have for Slaanesh's troops? Nurgle's just gross. Not looking for it. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be disgusting, and that's why I'm thinking, like, poison, slowing, plagues, hit point leeching, that kind of stuff. I'm on the Cathay hype. Jade Dragons, Terracotta Warrior. Yeah, that Cathay sounds great. I'm super excited. Plus, it's like something all new for Games Workshop, too. They're going to have to build all the lore for it. And I really hope we get miniatures for all of it, too, because I'd love to paint some miniatures for the stuff. That would be fantastic. Slaanesh have lawnmower chariots. Really want to see if they get added now. That would be pretty cool. Gonna have to play battles against Nurgle in the attack view so I don't have to look at them. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, the Nurgle stuff is pretty disgusting, typically. I mean, they're pretty nasty. They are pretty nasty. Now, we know some speed would be handy, because I was struggling to run away from the Dark Elves, so I make my werekin faster. Maybe Slaanesh can have a distract ability. Maybe so. Maybe so, that'd be kind of cool. Chaos. Let's just finish up his magic abilities. Let's see here. We've done the Dark Elf thing. Good grief, man. I was already buffed versus the Dark Elves, and we still got the crap kicked out of us in that fight. I mean, we got the ever-living crap kicked out of us. It wasn't even close. Cathay is probably the most anticipated, really interested to see what Immortal Dragon Emperor is like. Wonder if all Nurgle troops would have a sap passive, like sapping HP or stamina. I mean, I don't know. What do they have on tabletop? Because a lot of times it's not always like tabletop, but CA does tend to, you know, make it similar in some ways to tabletop, it seems like. Cathay, I never thought they'd be in the game, so I can't wait. Yeah, I agree, Alec. It's also really cool because we already kind of knew that CA could do this kind of stuff. Because, like, Vampire Coast, for instance, was something that they, you know, kind of made special for the game. Yes, Vampire Coast was mentioned. I don't really know if it had any models or, like, you know, an army book or anything else like that. But we know that there was something there about the Vampire Coast, but I don't think it was, like, a full-on faction, or maybe it wasn't a faction for long. I don't remember the exact story behind the coast, but Silostra, for instance, was never there. CA got to add her in the game, so it makes me excited that if they can do that with Cathay, they can maybe add stuff to the game for existing factions. You know what I mean? Like, even if there's a faction we already have in the game, maybe they can add something that they need it. You know, they can work with Games Workshop to add something that not only brings better balance to the game, but also adds something cool from the Games Workshop end, character-wise, unit-wise, and then not only that, it opens the door. Could we get Araby, End, Nippon? You know, who knows what we could end up with at this point, and I would be happy to see any or all of those factions eventually be in Warhammer 3. I think it'd be cool to see Nagash have a faction in the game. That could be a really cool thing. But there's a ton of neat stuff that Warhammer 3 could bring to the table, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm so excited for the game. It's because it's just been building and building and getting more and more awesome. And I can't wait.
Overrun the
Like,
world.
I am absolutely elated to see what they come out with. Now this is Sirtha Ek. Didn't I say I was going to try and put a bunch of chariots in his army just to troll? I think I did. Where was that building at where I could recruit him? Is here. I need to go to Cavalry Plain. A couple of turns we'll be able to build the right buildings. Oh look, Sirtha Ek's already got his chariot, so good. Yeah, we'll get a bunch of chariots to go along with the rest of his army. Really want to see the Chaos Dwarves for all the war engines. Yeah, it could be interesting to see them to Ogre Kingdom. I would imagine is a real possibility. So, Sirtha Ek plus chariots equal beyond comprehension. That's right, Alex. See,
To the four
you know how it
corners.
works. You know how it works.
The eternal
I want to fight this battle at the Skull Reef.
wandering.
We will face a foe in battle, and a great hoard of treasure may be received. Alright, let's do it. Raid the Cove. Took a little bit of attrition on the reef, unfortunately, but... Annie the Treacherous. They got some Johnny Depth Guard with pole arms and regular ones. Some hand cannons. And some mortars. And a giant crab. If you defeat Cetra as Sirtha Ek, his armies get 100% charge bonus. Is that true? You get that big of a charge bonus? Because that'd be pretty awesome. Waiting Nippon and Khorne to have a drag race around the vortex. Hammond says HeirofCarthage and vice versa if you defeat Sirtha Ek as Cetra. Yeah, that would be an epic chariot battle. That'd be like a Ben-Hur type chariot battle. Sirtha Ek versus the Chariot of the Gods. That would be definitely an epic chariot raid, and they should hold it in the what the Romans call the racetrack. It was, oh crap, what they call it? I'm gonna forget the name of it now. What was the name of the big Rome? Was it the Hippodrome or what was the name of it? It's not joking. It's in the files. Awesome. That's cool. So it is a thing. You get the extra charge bonus. Ben-Hur, my favorite movie. It was a pretty fun movie. Hippodrome, yeah, okay. I spend so much time destroying Rome, I'm just not as familiar with all of its landmarks, you know? I go in a pretty standard formation here. Though I do think I am gonna vanguard these units. And this is looking like a pretty juicy... No? No, it's not. Never mind. Deploy up on the hill. It's impassable terrain. And vanguard here. But I don't want to be in view of them to start with, so I may start around the corner a bit. Yeah, like this. Swing around and get into an attack position fairly quick. Alright, here we go. Let's go kill some vampirates. They've deployed way back in the back, which is probably what they should do. When is the next race campaign videos? I'm assuming you're talking about like when am I going to play campaign again in Warhammer 2? If I'm wrong, you can let me know in the chat. But if that is the question, I'll be playing all of the campaigns that are upcoming on the Silence and the Fury. So if you are looking forward to some more campaign action, I'll be playing all of them. So yeah, anyone you want to see, it'll be there. I'm going to stream one of them and probably record the other two as a video series. I'm going to be on vacation, so the streaming campaign may come later. I'm going to be on vacation from like the 12th to the 22nd. And I'm going to record some videos ahead of time. I'm pretty sure CA will get me access to the game early enough that I'll be able to go ahead and do some recording. So I'm fairly confident that I'll be able to get it all recorded before I leave. But in case I don't, that would be frustrating. But I'll do the best I can. But every time I do like go on a business trip or a vacation, CA releases a DLC. So I really ought to go on vacation and business trips more, because it would get us a lot more DLC. Oh gosh, those hand cannons are about to blast my face. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's get some over here. Start getting the crab. Melee. We should do pretty decent in a melee against the Vampy Coast. I'm gonna go try and help get rid of the crab. Swing out here. Let's try and get Wulfric away from the crab a little. Send some help against those depth guard. What just happened? A little help in there. Let's head over here. Alright, we're about to clean this up. Problem is they've got some depth guard pole arms up here. I'll probably want to get my wolves and trolls out of there. Try and get some snowstorm over here. Killed another one.
Yes! Fight!
Hit the heal button there. Alright. My Brutes of the Hound got pretty savage, but they also got a ton of kills. Alright, there we go. We killed them. We killed him. Alright, let's end that battle. Krabby Patties for all, that's right. Alex says, if Warhammer didn't exist, Three Kingdoms would probably be my favorite Total War, but Warhammer is just so awesome. Mine... That's a good question. If Warhammer didn't exist... probably be a pretty, like, probably Rome 2 would still be my favorite. But if I was just looking at a newer game, Three Kingdoms wasn't bad, but I think I like Troy a little bit better than Three Kingdoms. If I'm just looking at the newer ones.
Where's my next?
Got 10,000 gold and a Scroll of Amber. The Scroll of Amber is pretty crappy. But, whatever.
Ahead.
I'm gonna get off the reef, and oh boy, hopefully we don't get attacked by these guys on the next turn. That would be bad. I'm gonna try and get Wulfric back to kind of regenerate some and get him healed up. Favorite Shogun 2. Shogun 2 is definitely a good one. Rome 2 would be mine, especially with the graphic mods. Yeah, Rome 2 is just, it's my favorite time period. It was definitely not the most well put together game from Creative Assembly. Like, there's no arguing that. Like, Three Kingdoms, Troy, many other games like Shogun 2, all of those were better put together by Creative Assembly. but it's the time period and the content that I really enjoy in Rome 2. And with all the mods and stuff, it probably would be my favorite. But if I was forced into picking something newer, I think I would go with Troy. I just enjoy Troy more than I do Three Kingdoms. But again, I'm not trying to just like, you know, backhanded slap Three Kingdoms. It's a pretty good game, and like I feel kind of bad that it didn't end up getting the long-term support it deserved, because it really isn't a bad game. It just needed a few changes, and I think it could have potentially been a pretty big hit. But as far as being well made, it looks really good, and you know, the engine in it's a lot better than the Warhammer engine. Like, it runs a lot smoother and runs better with some of the newer hardware. So it's interesting. I think a lot of people would probably pick Rome 2 if Warhammer wasn't around. But hey, I mean, it's a preference thing, right? You're just picking what you want.
To the four corners.
Ain't no one can tell you what to like.
More headway.
Your choice. Oh gosh, I'm gonna end up getting parked right next to these guys.
Now, wandering.
I'm gonna try and like put some distance between me and them. I don't know if they'd be tempted to attack me or not, but it's a little bit worrying. It's actually just playing Hearts of Iron 4 before watching the stream. I've never played Hearts of Iron. Is it pretty good? The only Paradox games I've played was a little bit of Imperial Rome. I really liked Crusader Kings 3. I just haven't played it a ton because I don't have a lot of time, and it's a game that definitely eats up a lot of time. But it's also a very fun game. Like, Crusader Kings 3 is very fun. And then, technically, Surviving Mars was published by Paradox. I really like Surviving Mars. It's definitely on my favorites list among all games. I play it fairly often on my own. And then, the Surviving the Aftermath is another one that's kind of being published by Paradox, made by a different developer, but it's also a good game, like a good relax and chill type game. Very different from the grand strategy games, but very fun, relaxed game. Hearts of Iron is a huge time sink. It's not as fun to watch. Yeah, that's kind of the way I would feel about the Paradox games, I guess. But then again, I had pretty fun watching people play Crusader Kings 3, but it's mostly because I needed to learn how to play. So I think that's why I liked it so much. But I mean, CK3 was fun. It really was good. Like, it is a well-made game. Planet Base is an underrated title or little gem of a sandbox. Planet Base, never heard of that one. I'm guessing is why you're saying it's underrated. Alright, so we need a smithy, ruinous kiln in order to build chariots. So this kiln. Okay, that's what we need. Alright, get some of these buildings built. I don't need this growth anymore, and I can build some defenses there. Oh good, we didn't get attacked. How spectacular. Let's see if we can get back into friendly territory. Frog, attack the Isle of Wights for us. What time is it? About time for me to get off here, I think. Yeah, I'm about to have to be done. Let's sack this. You all keep an eye out on the Discord. I'll make an announcement on my YouTube, Twitter, and Discord for you all trying that battle that I had. So you can have some fun with it. We might show a few replays from it. So keep an eye out for that if you're interested. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. I do need to go ahead and head out for the night and get some rest, spend some time with Mrs. Air. And, yeah, anyway, it was awesome. It's fun going through the Khorne reveal. I'll be streaming again next week, so make sure you tune in. I think next week I'll do some Warhammer 2 multiplayer battles again, just to get back to normal. And then I think we'll pick a variety game for Thursday. You know, maybe go do some, like, Vermintide, or, you know, we'll pick some other game. Vermintide, Halo, Surviving Mars, Halo Wars 2. I don't know, we'll pick something else besides Warhammer 2 and play it and have some fun with it. We'll figure it out when we get closer, but yeah, we'll do multiplayer next Tuesday, then we'll do something variety for Thursday just to kind of keep things spiced up a bit. But anyway, see you all soon. Heir of Carthage, signing out.